When it they say anything, TSA, they say anything, say it straight, they say anything, hit that pain, they say anything, say my name. TSA, they say anything, say it straight, they say anything, hit that pain, they say anything, say my name.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to They Say Anything. I'm Bun, and today we got a powerful guest from right here in Reading, PA. Someone whose story is about transformation from surviving the streets at a young age and facing incarceration to becoming a leader in mental health advocacy and building one of the city's top grassroots nonprofits. She's using her past to change lives in the present, and this conversation is about growth, accountability, and purpose. I want to welcome Dr. Seleda to the building. How you doing, Lily?
I'm great, baby. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, so I'm
Right.
feeling blessed. I'm feeling blessed.
Right. That's dope. You was here with us, man. We appreciate you coming through.
Honor.
So I'm gonna get right into it, right?
Let's get it. Talk to me nice.
So what was life like growing up on the north side of Reading in the 80s?
Man, listen, it was a beautiful thing. I mean, we lived up the street from each other.
Right.
212 North 2nd Street was unity. It was togetherness. It was you go outside, you hungry, somebody's there, you doing something wrong, somebody's telling. You know, I had a homie Brandy down the street. We had Nay around the corner. It was just more structure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and probably as kids, you ain't know the other extra stuff, but being a kid, you know, you had to get into trouble to be in trouble. You know what I mean? It really wasn't waiting at the door for you. Like, what's up? So it was a beautiful thing. It was an opportunity to be a kid.
Most definitely. I miss them times, man. So taking it back, right? Emancipated at 15, right?
Yeah.
What led to that and what did survival look like at that age?
Man, so, you know, life was life, and I guess for my mother, whatever. I had lived down south for a little bit, like around 11. We had moved down to Georgia. I mean, I think for my mother, this is going to be my assumption, you know, things were just taking a turn. So when I moved back, because then I wound up moving to Florida for about a year, and she already moved back to the city. When I came back, you know, things was just different. You know what I mean? And there were certain things that took place while I was gone that put me in a mindset of it's just me, right? So I moved back to PA when I was 13, and you know, my mother was just on a different level with different things, facing different, you know what I mean, struggles. At that time, she wound up having 5 kids, so then it was all of us now. It wasn't just, you know, me and my older sister. There was 3 more added to it. So single mom, 5, life, and we wasn't really like we wasn't connected. And I come from old school. Like my mother, you 13, I'm not whooping you with no extension cord. I'm gonna beat your ass. We gonna box, right? So she was on that type time, and it just wasn't clicking. I wind up. I mean, I'm gonna be very transparent and honest because you know at the end of the day, I told you this is my story, but you know she wound up getting with a guy, and I mean she was a different person. So I wound up trying to kill myself at 14. I wound up trying to kill myself, and my older sister found me. Going to the hospital, you know, the CYS was like, yeah, we ain't taking you from her, but we think, you know, you just need separation. So you got a family member you can stay with. Wound up staying with my aunt, begging my mom to let me come home. She wasn't rocking with it. So then even more that kind of implemented my by myself mode. So, you know, 14, I told my aunt I was leaving, was with a boy, told her I was leaving. She let me go. Long story short, I wound up seeing my mother running down 13th Street from some nigga. And I let her come stay with me. And mind you, I'm 15 now, so me and the dude got a little spot. It ain't even a crib, it's a spot, you know what I mean, where people get money from. And I let her stay with me next morning, knock on the door, sheriff, CYS, my picture. Your mom was she locked up, and I'm like, you're crazy. She was just here staying with me, you know what I mean? So anyway, I get locked up. I wound up going to the detention center, send me down to the shelter next door, which is minimum security, because I ain't have no charges or nothing. I was low risk. Took us on a trip in Philly, and I ran. I left. Me and the white girl, we jetted. I don't know where I was running, but I'm running in Philly, anywhere I could get to a phone. Come back to Reading. Probably like 6 months later, I wound up getting arrested because I was on the run. So I go to court, and I'm thinking like, shit, I'm about to get locked back up. They about to take me right back where I'm at. But my mom's not there. So the judge is like, listen, your mother signed her rights over. She don't want nothing to do with you. So I'm going to sign this little pink slip. You an adult. And at that moment, I really didn't even know how to register that. I'm like, damn, my mother don't want me. I already know how my father feel about me. We already had that encounter. But children's services don't want me. Not that I wanted them to, you know what I mean? But it's like, damn, all right. So now it's just me by myself, and they let me walk out the door, and that was the beginning of my intense journey as a teen.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel? Like you just mentioned that your mother didn't want you and the city didn't wouldn't take you. Like how did that make you feel?
For the quick moment, it made me feel alone, of course, you know what I'm saying? But at 15, how do you really process that? And now I'm outside. So I come from a family of hustlers, and I'm not talking about just drug dealers. I'm talking about hustle. You know what I'm saying? We got 5 kids, ain't no lights on, we got kerosene heater, we got to figure shit out. So I knew about that. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whoever, whatever my mother may have been, she definitely was somebody that was a hustler. So I just got on straight survival mode. It was just like, all right, I already had the boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? I already been in the streets for a little bit anyway. So it was like, yo, like, it's really time now to figure shit out. And to be honest with you, I can't tell you a moment I was really scared or I felt sad after that. It was just go time. It was go time.
Survival mode.
Yeah, your survival mode is serious, and people don't really understand what that does to you later on. It prevents a lot of stuff that's beneficial to you later on in life. But you know, I was surviving, yo, by any means necessary. I was surviving, and through the grace of God, I was able to make it through.
Right. That's either in you or it ain't. Some people can't survive, so that's a grace you had that instinct in you.
It was a blessing. It definitely was a blessing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my kids to bring my charger. It definitely was a blessing because a lot of people look at life and say, you've been through some traumatic shit and life is fucked up, and but each episode was a lesson that got me to the next one and to the next one and to the next one. So I don't really hinder anything. I don't really hold grudges towards nobody. I actually am grateful that nobody interfered with my process because it led me to be who I am today. Not only for the business aspect, but just as a parent. I'm able to be the parent I need to be for a son with no man in the house. You know what I mean? And not fully because I'm not a man. I can't give him certain things, but my daughters, it prepared me for that.
Also, what don't break you makes you, you know?
Listen,
So I hear you speak about motherhood right now. At what age did you become a mother?
24. 24, I
24?
became a mother. Shit, I couldn't even believe it. I was so on the go at that time, and I was just so much into the mix and just doing so much that I needed to become a mother. Because if not, I was either going to be dead or in jail for a long, 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 long time. So it came right on time.
So how did becoming a mom change what you wanted out of life?
It changed everything about me. It changed my whole perspective, how I looked at life, how I looked at people. It changed how I felt love, how I received love. It saved my life. Like I said, if I didn't get pregnant when I did, the stuff that I was doing and into, I would have definitely either been in jail for a long time or dead. Like I never knew love felt so good before. Like having my son and him looking at me and knowing that I get to recreate myself through him in certain aspects. Like I said, being a single mother, because when I found out I was pregnant, the next day his father got booked. They raided my crib. So he got booked for attempted murder. So I knew he wasn't going to be around for a moment. But thank God my cousin Darnell was around. His girl at the time was around, and he covered me in that stage of just being pregnant and not having to be by myself. But yo, I never knew that I could feel and love so intensely. Sometimes I be mad how much I love my kids, but it's like
Nah, I
so
got
deep. It's
yeah,
so deep.
I know how you feel, man. I know how
And I
you
just
feel.
wanted more for myself. Like I you can't give what you don't got, right?
Right,
And
right.
at that point, I thought I had it locked down on what it meant to be a woman, responsibility, and I had no clue for real, for real. Because I ain't had myself to think about, and everything was moment. There was no longevity. There wasn't the long run. It was I'm living in the now every single second, and anything goes. So he just gave me a
Yeah.
comfort that I didn't know would feel the way it felt. I still had a little bit of shit going on though, because like I still, you a boy, you got to be tough, and so I still had some fine tuning. But when I had my daughter, my first daughter, she taught me patience. She taught me gentleness. She taught me how to be calm. because I still, I'm a lot of people say this and I don't do it intentionally, but I used to be always angry, right? Like always on go for any reason, for any situation. I never wanted really to have friends like that unless you was family. You never see me running around with a whole bunch of females. You know what I'm saying? That just was never my thing. I was never like the girly girl. Um, but when I had my daughter, she just gave me this calmness that I was okay with and it didn't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So moving forward from there, when did you when did you start your journey to become in to deal with the mental health field and shift the perspective of your own life?
I really wasn't even looking to be in it. I needed a job. I was in a 10-year relationship with my daughter's father. That wasn't working no more. And I had to provide. So I just wanted a job. And there was a place that was hiring called Opportunity Schools. And that's for kids that get kicked out of public school so they can get back into regular school and they dealing with behavior issues, mental health issues. And my job was to teach them coping skills, make sure they do their work and stuff. So that was my first exposure, but it wasn't as intense. Then after that, I started working at Haven, which is an acute setting, meaning you're there temporarily. And that right there is something to just when you think you got it bad or life, been life in you, you have no clue. I done had 3 ribs fractured doing restraints. I done seen, women try to stab themselves with pens in their heart. I done had patients there that got kids that's by their father. Like it was intense, man. It was really, really intense. And I had to step back and say, damn, I'm lucky. I'm blessed. Not lucky, I'm blessed because this wasn't my lane that was chosen. And that could have easily been that lane, being as though, my story up until then, I had every chance not to give a fuck about life. Like I didn't feel like life was really caring too much about me other than my kids. But it gave me this perspective of how easily things can go wrong. But what it also did was I found out the gimmick. I found out what society does to keep us stagnated. I found out really with information, so many different things can be different. I found out that we generally make things a lot more harder for ourselves than what we have to because we don't have proper information and
Right.
they're not going to give it to
Education.
us, right? So then where
Educate.
do you look? You know what I mean? So then what we do as, minorities is we just normalize stuff. Depression, that's normal. That's just life. You know what I mean? And it really isn't. It really isn't. So we don't go get the help needed. We don't get the information needed. And when I say get the help needed, I don't mean allowing somebody else to create your truth. You get the information needed and you apply it to you as you see fit because we always got to play the first part. So once I got into that mix and the way I was interacting with patients, there was doctors and therapists there that were like, yo, you should start like your own podcast. I don't even understand how you can communicate with some of these people and get them to calm down the way you do with no legitimate experience. And that just planted a seed in my head that I didn't go after right away. But when the time was that was my anchor to be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. But I really got the gimmick, yo, and it's a gimmick. Like the system is made perfectly. It's made perfectly. It's people that mess up the system, and the system was never made for us. So when you're mentally equipped and you have the information you need, you can start taking things over and start building your own truth and allowing life to work for you the way it really should. But until then, again, like I said earlier, you really can't get what you don't got.
Right. That was one of my questions. Um, One of my questions was you originally wanted to start a podcast about, was it about mental health?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I didn't want to go too deep into it, like with diagnosis and, schizophrenic. I wanted to do the basic shit that, people like us, we battle, but we don't talk about. Right.
Right.
Because, with minorities, either you go to church, you self medicate, or you keep it to yourself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like mental health only became a real thing for us in the past 15 years, and we still having trouble getting over that stigma and accepting it. And rightfully so. Generation after generation, there's been so many things done to us that will navigate us away from even wanting to trust somebody else's word with us. That's why I say, you get information, you apply it to yourself as you see fit, but without education and information, it's just not going to work. So I wanted to give niggas in the hood. I wanted to give people in the hood an opportunity to really be honest so that other people can feel more comfortable about being honest. And I did about 2 episodes. And then I wanted to do a mental health walk. And I did a mental health walk from 3rd and Penn all the way up to 9th and Penn. And I just went to Dollar Tree, had a couple signs that we made up. It's okay to not be okay. Mental health is self care. And as I'm walking with like maybe four people, people off the street just started walking with us and beeping the horn. And so it was like, oh, all right. And to be honest with you, I can't even tell you what made me turn. I just know that like there was directions and lanes, and I just stood in my lane. And wherever it took me, I allowed it to take me, and it turned into what it was. But I needed to do more homework. And I ain't gonna hold you, Buns, yo. Everything I needed to do, everything was brought in front of me. Every opportunity. I needed information. I got a mentor. I needed an office. I was given an office. Like it just started going exactly the way it needed to be. That's why I knew like this ain't by chance. This is my purpose. My journey was my journey that led me up to my purpose. So I only had like 2 episodes that I did for the podcast, and from there it was up. It was up from there.
Nah, I think a lot of us deal with mental health, like you said, silently. You know what I mean? Self medicating and or just try to live through it. Cause I know
Because people
I know
people make it embarrassing. That's why I said like the system's
that
made perfectly, but people make it the way it is. But in fairness, what you don't understand is always going to be taken as weird, right? Like what you don't comprehend. And we come from a generation of people that, have struggled, have died, have sacrificed, have done all of these different things just for people like me and you to be right in this space.
right,
And they didn't get those things. So it's easy to say, I don't need that. It's easy to say, nah, I don't want nobody laughing at us or, prejudging me. Because people do care what other people think. No matter how many times you
right.
try to say you don't care what somebody thinks, you do.
But
Every way around the board.
but
Um,
I think us, like our, black people, I think we care more.
I think we care more because a couple things. One, there's always only been one spot for us. So everybody's like a crab in a barrel trying to get that one spot. That's
Right,
one.
right,
Two, we're already prejudged before we step in the room. And that's been that way since the beginning of when we came over here. Prejudged and never really had a say. Now we're in a whole different space now, right? So we could say, yeah, we had those things, but we're in a space now where a lot of that really don't hold too much weight. Now our struggle's gonna be different. The fight's gonna be harder still because that's what it is. But what are you willing to do for the betterment of you? Like when you was on the block getting that money, you was willing to anything win. You was ready to shoot whoever, fight whoever, go to jail, and that was all for negative shit. What you willing to do for you to be great? And nothing worth having is gonna be easy. That's just gonna be hard just because you're not expected.
I mean, and did you notice a lot of hustlers, a lot of people that came from that life, they turned out to be hell of a businessman because
Listen,
of that all or nothing mentality.
because of
They
that
know.
all or nothing.
Yeah, right,
So I do returning citizens too, like people that come home from jails. Politically and business wise, you got to be called a returning citizen. But for convicted felons, so I go to adapt. I go out of state. I do all types of speaking engagements, right? And the one thing that I say is convicted felons are the new superheroes.
right.
If you never been to jail, and I only been to county jail, I never been upstate, so I can only imagine. If you ever been to jail, you know how hard it is to create something for your comfortability, to create for you, just for you to be comfortable. Or if you know what it is to be out on the block with like 6 other niggas that's getting money too, and you still gotta make sure your pocket is content enough to go home to survive. Man, listen, we can create anything. We can do anything because we done already did it for this situation. It's just getting in the mindset and being willing to expose yourself to shit that you're not used to. Because the other side, different is scary. Don't nobody want to be disappointed, especially when you've been disappointed all your life. It's cool to be in this space that's negative because I'm used to it. I know what to expect. I know what it got for me. We got a love thing going on, me and negativity. But when I try to come over here, how is that going to handle me? Am I mentally equipped for 100 no's before one yes? Or 5 doors closed in your face? Just because you, not because you're qualified, not because, whatever the case may be, just because you look the way you look. Am I mentally prepared for that? And that was one of my struggles. That was one of my little struggles with mentally getting in the space to understand that next phase when it came to the mental health. But I tell everybody all the time, though, convicted felons, you can turn your head down to them all you want, and everybody's situation is different. But with the right opportunity and the right tools, listen, they could save the world for real, for real.
I feel like they only look out down on certain communities, convicted felons, because Not to be into politics, but they're praising a convicted felon right now.
Oh, absolutely. 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 I mean, that's a fact. That's not I think that's 100% fact. Let me give you a little history. Back in the 90s, late 80s. Matter of fact, the 90s when Bill Clinton came in office, he started the three strikes, right? So they was going through this thing where if you was white and you got caught with a gram of coke and you was black and you got caught with a gram of coke, that gram of coke for you being black, you probably getting 20 years. That gram of coke for you being white, you getting probation.
Right.
In the mental health field, if you got a little kid that's white and he's having behavior issues, and then you got a little black kid that's black and he got behavior issues, that little white kid probably got some trauma and he needs help and he
Mhm.
needs to be coddled and comfort. That little black kid is ghetto, ain't got no supervision, is oh, that's normal.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is, and it's been that way all the time. But and I don't want to get too deep into history or whatnot, but we are the originals. There's no beginning without us, and they're gonna end with us. So at the end of the day, it needs to be enough of us to understand our true power and take advantage of it, or we can't complain about nothing.
Right. No, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. Like, I think that's what make it harder because I think the deck is always stacked up against us. Like, we got to work 10 times harder than everyone else
But when you think about it,
just to
though,
prove that we equal.
no, but it's not to prove that you equal.
No, I'm saying just to prove that we're equal. We're way past them, though. We're
But
not
this is the
equal.
gag. This is the gag, though. It's not about proving that you're equal. That's never the thing. And I hate when people feel like they do because these motherfuckers already got their mind made up. How are you going to prove to a group of people that forever thought that you less than? They couldn't prove it then, and they're not going to prove it now. It's to prove to yourself your capabilities and your true power. And it is going to be harder for us. But check this out. The harder it is for you, the greater the reward. And it's a fact.
Right.
There were wars when you look at the history of how things going, even in politics. And I'm not a political person. I just had to educate myself for what I'm in. But if you look at the history, everything is momentarily for that side. Everything is momentarily. Everything we create and we do is longevity and it's generations. Even from the smallest thing like a curling iron, an ironing board. That's a forever thing. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we get to keep forever. And no matter how many decades pass, you'll never be able to deny that that was my peoples that created that. You'll never be able to deny that if it wasn't for four black women, you would have never got on the moon because they figured that mathematics out. You'll never be able to deny it. That's a forever thing. But over here, everything that they do is momentarily. It's not longevity. And when we got to get to the space where we working for the long run and not for the moment. Live in the now, but work for tomorrow because yesterday's for today and today's for tomorrow.
That's good. That's true. That's what we did when we were younger. Like, that's what made us who we are today.
Absolutely. I just wish more of us will understand our true power. I mean, a lot of people, you got niggas on here still beefing from 1990.
Nah, I
Like,
see it too.
I mean, like, what are we really doing? Like, where's really the growth? Because on the outside looking in, you got people looking like, well, damn, I guess you ain't grow up yet. Like, I don't care who I beef with back in the day. I got too much going on right now to even see it. I'm so into me, I see nothing else.
Nah, it's real
I
shit.
see nothing else. It's all about elevation and growth, and education is the most important shit, yo. I mean, there's no way around it. I'm the greatest student because I'm trying to be the best teacher, not only for my family, but for people that I've been around. I'm not doing no favors for nobody. I'm obligated to you and whoever else. That's my obligation as a human being. If you hungry, nigga, let me come in here. I only got 2 slices, but you get one and I get one.
Right.
That's my obligation. But we in a space and we've been in a space where everything is to each its own. And we lose that way. They don't even got to do the work no more. We're doing the work for them. We allowing ourselves to fail because there's only always been one spot and we all fighting for that spot. Not understanding that we can create our own spots. You know how many doors got closed in my face when I started this? You know how many times people looked at me like this? You crazy. Who's this? My nickname in City Hall is the angry black female. I'm not here trying to be friends. I'm trying to get my people the stuff that they deserve by any means necessary. So you know what? I'm not knocking on your door no more. I'm gonna create my own. And when I want to walk in and close it, that's what I'm gonna do. When I want to walk out and close it, that's what I'm gonna do. And I ain't gotta answer to nobody. But it wasn't easy. It was not easy. People see, on Facebook and stuff, the things I do, and they're like, oh, that's dope. But I had to do a lot of surviving and a lot of tears and a lot of frustration just to get to this point. I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world.
Nah, me neither. So originally, you wanted to start a podcast about mental health.
Yeah.
What made you pivot it into nonprofit instead?
So the reaction that I got from the mental health event that I did, the mental health awareness event, that kind of changed the trajectory. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, "Yo, you should just start a nonprofit." And I ain't know nothing. When I tell you nothing, I was looking, googling words to understand what certain things were. But I knew that there was three areas that I wanted to address because they all kind of went into each other. I wanted to do mental health awareness for minorities. I wanted to do youth advocacy against gun violence, and I wanted to do return to citizens. And I know it sounds like three different lanes, but it really is just one because I can relate to each one, right?
Right.
Um, and like I said, for mental health, I wanted to give people that information because I got the gimmick. I see how they kept us stagnated, and it's bigger than just giving us information. It's medical, because the medical field, they run mental health in hospitals for real, for real. They the ones that say yay, nay, and all that other stuff. But because I was exposed to it for 2 years, I kind of got the gimmick. And at that point, we started going through this thing where little kids was just like dropping like flies. Like they was really like out here banging. I've been to probably 8 crime scenes, all under the age of 18. One where the kids had blown off, one where the kids stabbed to death in City Park, 2 homicide scenes from kids leaving the school near McDonald's. And it was like, yo, this is some ill shit right here. And I'm trying to figure out why nobody else is angry. Like, why nobody else feel a type of way? Plus, I got kids and I live in the city. I need to make sure that mine is protected, especially my son. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure he's good. So if I want to make sure that my kid is good, then I gotta play a part. So that was one of them. And the returning citizens, because I'm gonna be very, very honest with you, and this is no shun to women. As a society, we have dehumanized men since the beginning of time.
Mm.
You gotta be tough, you gotta be strong, you gotta be the provider, you can't be weak. But in all those things, nobody never told a man that they gotta be human first. We never tell them you got to be human, and what comes with being human. In order to be strong, you got to know what it is to be weak. In order to be happy, you got to know what it is to be sad. But we done push that shit so away from men. It's like, what you expect? What you expect? Now we in the 90s going up where now we ain't got men in the household, so you got little boys growing up with no dads. And we still not even telling them, yo, you got to be human. You're human. Before you anything, you human. So that was one of the things that really drove me to with trying to advocate and why I started going to adapt. I started going to Harrisburg, lobbying in Harrisburg when they would have certain stuff and talking to certain senators and certain state legislators. Like, you keep saying one thing, but you're doing different. I need to understand why. Why are we making it so difficult? If the plan is for men to come home and be good citizens, right, and do what's right, why we not providing that? Bus pass. You need to get your ID. You need a social. We're not letting them get their essential documents. We're not doing anything. Parole probation, that's authority. That's not caseworking because that's what it really is supposed to do. All right, I got these list of jobs. Here you go. Go check them out. If you need help with anything, I get you a bus pass so you can get around. They don't do none of that. They just want to make sure you pay your shit on time and you in for curfew. And if you don't, you getting booked.
No,
So that was my
they tell you to go get a job and all that, but they don't realize a lot of us didn't know how to do that.
that's
We
my
didn't
that's my
we didn't
thing.
yeah, we
You
didn't
can tell
have
anybody to
IDs.
do anything, but they know your rap sheet. So if they see that you've been getting booked since a juvenile, and now this is different because now we're in the computer area. You're not going and filling out no application. You go online, you submit an application, and you waiting for an email back.
Uh-huh.
But somebody that just got them doing 10 years, you telling him to what? To know what? Because this life stopped when applications was on hand and you could just pick up the phone. But we can't do that no more. So that was one of the biggest things why I wanted to advocate and really fight for that too. Um, at the end of the day, it can't just be you get to do whatever you want and we gotta sit back and just say, all right, that's how it goes. It can't be like that. I can't accept that. Um, so I was put in a position where I felt like it was my obligation to shout as loud as possible and expose. And that was my first, like that first quarter for me was the exposure. I was trying to expose too much. And it threw me off my creative ability because I felt like I had to be the person to be like, no, you're lying. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. And that really wasn't my job to do. But that's mentally that's where I was at because I wasn't educated enough and really understanding that a nonprofit is just that. It's a business. I was naive. I was like, yo, nonprofit, you just go help people. No, this is a business. You think niggas on the corner are real drug dealers or real hustlers? Not at all. We ain't got nothing on this thing right here called a
At all.
nonprofit. You know how much money flows? You know how many people are doing illegal tax shit, this shit is for real, for real. And they get away with it because they can, because it's the system, right? So I had to educate myself because I was naive. I was real naive, and that was the hardest part. I had to learn how to write grants because I didn't want to give nobody else access to my something I'm working for, something that I'm busting my. I didn't work for 2 years just so I could dedicate myself to this nonprofit because I knew I had to give it my all. So I wasn't willing to hand nothing over to nobody else. I had to educate myself. I had to know how to get certified and be accepted by Pennsylvania and all that EIN number. I had to do all of that shit, man. It was frustrating for a while. And then I got introduced to somebody that just changed my life. Changed my life.
Is that Larry Behringer?
That's Larry. That's White Larry. That's White Larry. Yeah, man. Yeah, he believed in me, yo. And what was so dope about it is he was the first man that was older than me that he didn't want nothing from me. He just wanted me to be great, and that was his exact words. Like, what do you want? And me being me, what you mean, what do I want? I don't want nothing from you. Just give me the education. All right, you got an office over there. Go be great. I'm your mentor.
Right.
Yo. Because I wanted to stop doing events, because at that point, I done already probably did, I did basketball tournaments. I did back to school. I did every event you could think of. I was tired of doing events. I wanted a space that was safe and people can come to and get services. And I got an office for free. I ain't have to pay for nothing. Um, And that's when I was really, really able to like really get busy. And to this day, he's my mentor. He's my mentor with everything.
Nah, that's dope though. I wanna thank you for putting in work in the community. You know, we all grew up together, so I know you personally. So I wanna thank you for that. And then I also wanna congratulate you for starting the real deal
Thank you. I
610.
appreciate
Like
that.
that was big. I'm proud of you, man. Well, we all proud of you.
It's amazing, yo. It's fucking amazing. You know what's so amazing about it, yo? Is I never knew I was me.
That's dope. That's deep
I
too.
never knew I was me. I never knew because I can't do nothing. I can have all these bright ideas, but if I'm doing this for the community, so if they don't receive me and approve of me, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. So I have been received by the community, yo. I can't even since day one, yo. I can't even explain to you it's scary, but it's beautiful the trust that's been given into me. Cause come on. I'm Seleda, so you got a lot of people that don't like, you got people that do like, and I can't say I was really worried about that because that really wasn't my concern. If whatever I got can benefit you, I don't care who you are. Let me give you, I ain't gonna go personal in depths with them, but there's two people that I used to gang war with. I'm talking about we used to beef back in the day. One, I was able to give her a platform for her trauma and let her speak out. And the other one, I was able to help her start her business because I'm grown now. And, we did what we did when we was young, but I want to see you be great. And if you want to be great and I can assist you in doing that with the little bit that I got, it's all for you. I could care less what happened back in the day. Um, and that's been the blessing, being able to reconnect with people that, listen, we used to go in on each other and not really know why or not really know each other. And that was beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. The city has shown me incredible love. We got an A+ right now when it comes to our grants, when it comes to our services. And again, I'm sure there's people that be looking like, here go this bitch. I'm cool with it all. I ain't never really felt no type of way when somebody ain't like me. And, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because God don't play about me. He don't play about me. So I'm going to do great irregardless of, like I said, the public opinion or the status quo. Because I'm living my purpose, and this was a purpose he had planned for me. I'm not religious. I'm very relationship, and me and God got a love thing going on. So I wake up to him. I go through my day with him, and I go to bed with him. It's never about you, but you gotta. And we're human, right? And the reality is, because I'm not gonna sugar this shit like it's cute. The reality is, everybody got feelings, and when your feelings is touched, if you're not in a mental space where you can say, you know what, you got that one, then you're gonna be reactive. But one thing that I was taught through this journey was emotional intelligence, which is very important. I got to be aware of how I feel, but I got to be open minded to how other people feel. So you feel some type of way about me, you want to talk about it. What did I do to make you feel that way? And we can agree to disagree, but I have to be emotionally intelligent to be open minded enough to hear it if you want to share it. Now, if you don't want to tell me and you just want to talk, then it ain't none of my business until you make it my business. But growth always happens at different levels. And it's not because you actually don't like me. I don't do nothing to benefit you. I'm not feeding you. I'm not giving you money. It's the fact that you're not where you want to be in life. But instead of you hating me, use me, fuck with me, see what I got. Because I'm not doing nobody no favor. I'm supporting people. I don't feel like anybody needs me. But I do feel like I got some shit to offer. And like I said, if it can benefit you, listen, I give you 100%, 100%. And if it don't, then that's cool too. Because not everybody's for everybody. Listen, I got a big table. I make the Yeah, yeah, yeah. I made the chairs, the tables. I can make another chair if you want to sit at this table too. Enough out for all of you. You don't know how bad I want people to be great. I want that shit like I want to be able to breathe every day. And not because I was able to be in a predicament, but because I know it's doable, yo. I know it can happen. Like automatically we dope individuals regardless. That's our genetics. But if with the right opportunity, yo, man, listen, it could be amazing. But we got to get out of our old habits and we got to be willing to be uncomfortable. There's a lot of things that keep me going. One, because I know I'm dependent on that. I presented something to the community, and for me to just give, tease, and snatch it back, then I wasn't who I said I was from the beginning. So that's the main thing. It's because I know there's people that depend on me to be exactly who I say I'm going to be. Um, and my kids, listen, I changed generational curses. I was able to um, do a lot of things for my kids that I probably wouldn't have been able to. I got a 17-year-old. She just turned 17. She skipped 12th grade. She leaving the Morgan College. You know what I'm saying? I got a 20-year-old. He's in college. I got a 13-year-old that's an all-star basketball player. I know that if different things were going on in my life, I wouldn't have been able to give myself and opportunities the way I have been able to right now to my children. And listen, I got to make sure I'm equipped first so that they could be equipped the best. And listen, I love my kids something serious to the point where it's probably sickening. My son tell me all the time, you got to give it up. I'm in love with my kids. I want everything great. I don't want nobody looking at them wrong. I don't want them to ever cry. None of the above. Not like that's reality, but those are the two things. Yeah, I know I burn mine out all the time. Listen, you could be ever come love on me. Let me cook you something to eat. And in the community. Yeah. And ain't nobody gonna love you the way I do. Ain't nobody gonna love you the way I do. I gang bang with my son all the time because he grown. And then after that, come over here and give me a kiss, nigga. Come give me a hug.
I was gonna ask you, like, taking it back a little bit, like, what's something you normalized back then that you realize now is just actually trauma?
Being secluded. I wasn't like a big people person. I knew, we know everybody, but like I said, you ain't never seen me run around with a whole group of females. And that wasn't nobody else's fault. That was just a me thing. And being scared of change. I've been terrified of change. I hated change so bad. Um, and not being transparent. I had an anger issue, and I didn't even realize that till I had passed 6 years. I was angry about a lot of stuff that because I was such on survival mode, I never paid attention to. I never paid attention to it. Um, and I missed out on a lot of things in life that I don't got no regrets because everything is written. Nothing happens just because, and everything that does happen is supposed to. But um, not being a little bit more gentle with myself. Because when I was in the mix, I wanted to be the best at everything negative. I wanted to be the best fighter. I wanted to be the best drug dealer as a female. I wanted to be the best everything negative, yo. And plus, I'm in the niggas world. So, growing up being in a man's world, I want to be the best at everything. I want to be able to stand next to you, even though the reality is I can't stand next to you. We two different people. So those are a couple of things that I realized. But I would never use the word trauma. Words are real powerful. And I can't tell you that I can ever put myself in a space back then that I feel was traumatizing. Because then I got to rewrite history then. And I don't want to do that, right? Like my experiences was my experience, some messed up. Some of the things I probably could have prevented with the right information or even wanting better for myself, right? With the right self-respect. Um, but I'm blaming everything on my mother or on the system or on my father. I had the opportunity to make decisions. But I don't really regret anything other than making kind of making sure I was a little bit gentle with myself.
Like you ever see like them sci-fi movies or like going back to the future type stuff where they like you can go back to the future, right? But if you touch anything, you change everything later. You know what I mean?
Everything.
So they be like,
If I
if
have
you
to
can
go
go
back and
back and
change, I would love to just be in an era just for a couple days, yo. I
don't
want to
touch
be
nothing, just be there.
I
Yeah.
don't I just want to be there. I want to go back to 86. I want to go back to 86. I want to go back behind Lawrence Park and roll down the hill. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I want to go back over to
Not me.
times on the corner
Hold
on
on,
Second
wait
and
a
Walnut.
minute. Not me. You know how many times I got my ass beat for getting grass stains? Nah.
Nigga, listen, I remember me and you back there rolling down the hill before. I
How about
remember
you trying to fight me?
young, yo. We were so young. Taking the
She trying to
honeysuckles
rumble
and
me,
pulling them
Wells.
out and yo, I just want to be there real quick just to feel that love, that innocence. I just want to feel
Nah.
that innocence for a moment.
Miss Acre Stills Day, all that type of shit.
Man, listen, are you ready to get down?
Oh
Yes,
shit.
we are. Oh my God, yo, I miss all of that. I miss all of it. I miss all of it, yo.
Ah,
People don't understand your age was so great. It was so great. I remember when the Dominicans first came to Front Street. Bomba, bomba, bomba. They used to yell bomba for I miss all of that, yo. I listen, good, bad, ugly. I miss it all in the 80s. If I could just sit there for a little bit and sit on the porch and watch. Remember when they used to do blackouts? Remember when blackouts used to happen and the whole city be
uh-huh.
blackout?
None of the
Just that
lights on the
moment.
streets were on.
No lights. And
Uh,
it was safe. You didn't have to worry about
nah,
nobody.
that
Well, it
shit was
still was
low.
safe.
I think we was playing tag or something when the lights went out.
What?
But you ain't have to worry about nothing
You didn't have
either.
to worry about none of that because when you were outside, whoever was around you was going to give you what you needed anyway. So like it wasn't like, and I'm sure that's just my version, like my experience. 'Cause I'm sure it might have been different for other people, but my grandma lived at 221 North Elm, I mean North Elm Street, right on front of the Elm. Her door stayed open all the time. All the time. Had the screen. She probably had the one door open till like almost 2 in the morning. Wasn't nobody doing nothing.
Nah.
Was nobody doing nothing. It was innocence. Like you didn't have to pay such a heavy price for certain decisions like you do today. Everything comes with a heavy price and heavy consequences. And it's life detrimental too. So it's like, I just want to be innocent for a minute and not have to, you know what I mean, everything be so intense. Because life is intense right now. We gotta start educating ourselves. And again, I say this because I have a lot of like state reps. They'll ask me, why don't you run for state rep or whatever? That's not my thing. I like to be on the ground. But I had to realize how important being informed was, y'all. Like, if I could say anything, I really encourage as many people as possible to know what's going on politically. And it don't even got to be on the state level. It can be on the city level. Because the people that's in the city right now, we put them in there. They work for us. Like they getting paid to work for us, and they're making decisions that don't include us. And how you make a choice without my voice, and it's about me?
Right.
That don't feel right. That's like you crib and taking food out my refrigerator, and you even ask me. We got to start getting into that political field. We need more black faces. We don't have a black community no more. We need our black community back. And to be honest with you, that's why Hispanics are so successful because them niggas stick together. They come
That's
in numbers. They ain't gotta like each other.
I was
They
talking
stick
about that earlier. I
together.
talk about that every day.
Go be a mayor. It's like you can't complain about shit you're not willing to participate in. Because then it's like, what are you really complaining about? Because you're not really trying to play a valid role in any of these things. We have no black people on city council. Not one. And everybody's black when we all in the room together, but when we not in the room together, then we're all separate. So we have no black official sitting on city council right now. We did. He resigned last year. Winton Butler Jr., Mr. Butler's son.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. He's young. He got a family that he started, but we have no black voice at all.
That's why we need you and Stefan.
Listen, I stay in my lane, brother. I stay in my lane. Once you jump out your lane, and that's when everything gets chaotic. And I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't survive being in politics. I'd probably get fired. Because you can't just say whatever you want to say to me or insult my intelligence. And I'm supposed to walk out the door like that. Yeah, that's cool. I can't do that.
How has the real deal 610 evolved since you started it? Like where
Oh
you at with
man.
it right now?
Man, yo. So we're 5 years. We just made 5 years last September, in the making. So I do things like strategically. So like, all right, when I first came out, I wanted to do events so people knew who we were and they could trust us and they knew that we was here for the long run. And I wanted to get an office so that I could provide services. My next move is I'm about to open up an agency so that I have something that just belongs um to the real deal and is structured around supporting other agencies but doing intense case work, case management work so that people don't got to keep getting the same services over and over and over. Because if I'm giving you the same services, is that like a shun to me or is that a shun to you? Or do we
Like,
share that responsibility?
what is it actually helping?
Yeah, and we got to share that responsibility. Like, I'm going to do my part, but you got to do your part. People can tell any client that I've had, they can tell you when they come to my office, I don't play with them. I'm not doing the work for you, and you're not playing with my time. I'm not going to play with yours, but you're not going to play with my time. So my next venture is actually opening up an agency where not only I can give services, to people, but so that I can hire a team that can get good wage, good medical benefits, and through that, maybe they can create their own, and they can be exposed to, how everything works and come up with their own great ideas and do great stuff. Because listen, can't nobody stand in my shoes. And I can't stand in nobody else's. So that's why I'm not insecure or jealous about nobody. But if we mix all this greatness up together, stuff we can come up with is amazing, yo. It's amazing. So we're doing phenomenal. I'm focusing right now on returning citizens because so many benefits for returning citizens have been taken away. We don't got Warnersville no more, so the halfway's house going. ADAPT is only for people that have been in jail, and it's like a drug program. But niggas use that system the way they want. We don't have any halfway houses for women no more. Um, so there's a lot of benefits that returning citizens just don't have. So you got a nigga coming home from jail, you gotta figure that out.
Like
You
shit.
know what I'm saying? So there's things that we do. We support the first month's rent into any room and board. We do bus passes. We do state IDs. We do work clothes. Um, yeah, we do whatever we can do to get you back on your feet. But then you gotta take it from there. I got a good employment log that hires returning citizens. So we got that little rap sheet for you. I help people with their resumes. Um, I got a community partnership with an agency that does job training. So if you want to be an electrician, CDLs, um, HVAC and plumbing, culinary arts, phlebotomy, CNA, medical assistance. They get you in there for free. I pay the application fee, but you get them classes for free, and then you go be great.
Now that's dope. That's dope. Yes. So I'm looking at your bio, right? And I see you earned an honorary doctorate and certifications in speaking and trauma awareness. So how does that feel for someone who came from where you came from? And congratulations too.
It feels great. Thank you. To be honest with you, bundles, let me tell you something. I try not to. Only time I tell people that's when I'm a professional setting because when you have a title, people sign you up for stuff you ain't agreed to, and they have a different expectation. And to be honest, I just want to be Seleda, yo. I just want to be. So it took me a while because I got referred. Somebody referred me to that. So an honorary doctorate degree is a degree that you get, but you have to already do the work. Like you can't
Yeah.
go to school and just do academics. You have to have already been doing the work, and then there's academics to it too. So somebody had referred me to a college out in Georgia, and they reached out to me. So I was contemplating it a little bit. It's beautiful. The opportunity is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I got my doctor, letters between before my name and stuff, but are people going to put me in a predicament where they're going to sign me up or have expectations for me that I didn't agree to? But then it was like, there's so many people that poured into me and gave me information and gave me their time. I want to show them that this is what I did with their time. And fuck that, I deserve it. So let me go
Yeah.
get it. So I
Right.
feel great that I got it.
That's
I
dope.
feel great. Speaking is my thing, so I love to speak. So that was a plus, the global speak. And I actually, like I was telling you before, I leave to Florida to go speak out there because I'm trying to venture like out of PA now to do speaking. And then my trauma enhancement certification, that just lets people know that I can give mental health awareness because
Yeah.
they're real like iffy with when you do mental health, you have to be real careful with your wording. I can't tell people like I do mental health. Well, no, I'm not a therapist. I'm not licensed, but I do mental health awareness, and these are my certifications in order to do that. So whatever I tell you I do, I solidify why I'm able to do that.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But it feels
So,
good. I feel blessed, yo. Listen, I'm telling you, I never knew I was me. And
no.
it's the fuel that keeps that flame going. I ain't gonna hold you now. It was a couple times I wanted to just give up. Like, yo, I'm not doing this. Um, but it's the fuel that keeps the flame going.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope what you doing. So with that being said, what's been the most rewarding moment in that work for so far? You know what I mean?
Just being able to see people that I know or don't know that's in the city that I'm able to support be great, yo. Like I can't say it enough, yo. It's like it just gives me this hyperness that I can't put into words. My greatest reward is being able to support people when I know that they're in a room where nobody else wants to. That's my greatest reward. That's better than all the plaques I got or the so that's better than all that. If I got to choose between one, they can keep all that other extra stuff. I just want people to be great. That's it. That's my reward.
Nah, that's real.
And growing, you know what I'm saying? Like being able to be 45 and listen, December last year I had brain surgery. Um, so being able to continue after brain surgery, knowing that, you know, a lot of things could have happened, it gives me this exuberating feeling where I know I'm destined and I have to. And knowing that I got a purpose. Like there's people out here walking around the world and they feel like they ain't got no purpose. I was able to find mine before it was too late.
Nah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't know that, man. Sorry to hear. Well, I ain't sorry because you made it through. You know, but I
I'm
didn't know
blessed.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, I had brain surgery, I had a tumor.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm
I'm
definitely
glad you made
blessed.
it through, man. I'm glad you got healthy again. So, what do you want people just like you to know is possible for them?
Anything. Anything and everything. Ain't no sky's the limit. Anything and everything. Just know that when you step in that world, you're gonna have a lot of ups, but you're gonna have some downs that you never expected. Um, you're gonna lose people that you never expected, and really not for no reason other than them wanting you to stay here when you're moving up here, not because you know you're throwing nothing in their face or you think you're better than them. You're gonna lose some people, man. Some hurtful stuff is gonna happen, but any and everything is doable as long as you got the right tools and you got the right mindset and you're willing to go hard because you got to go hard.
Nice, too.
And
So,
mental
what
health is for real. It's
it
okay to not
is?
be okay. Yo, mental health
It
is for
is.
real. Get right. If you sick, you go to the doctors. If you're hungry, you go to that refrigerator. If you need to use the bathroom, you go into the toilet. If your mind ain't right, get the information you need and create your own truth by any means necessary.
So, where can with the service you provide, like how do they go about getting in contact with you? Like,
So I'm at
oh,
645 Penn Street on the third floor. My number is 610-376-6571, extension 34. My website is www.therealdeal610.org. Facebook is my name. Instagram is the real deal at 610. Um, and yeah, I'm here. I'm here as long as God's willing. But
yeah,
just be ready to do the work. I
right,
don't give I don't
definitely.
give no handouts. I do hand ups.
Nah, that's how it should be, though.
And
It,
I'm open to correction. If anybody feels like there's something else I need to be doing that'll be of benefit that's in my lane, listen, I don't know everything. I know a little bit about a little bit. Um, but I'm all for it, yo. I want to support any and everybody. I want people to be great. I want them to know that it's doable. There gotta be changes that gotta be made in order for it. And I'm still learning. Trust and believe that I'm still learning. I ain't no finished product. And I'm still growing and I'm still making mistakes. But in order to be the best teacher, you got to be willing to be the greatest student.
nah, that's dope because we always well, we grew up in competition, constant competition, trying to be the best at this, smartest at school. Well, I don't want to be the smartest in the room. You're the smartest in the room. You're in the wrong
Especially
room.
you in the wrong room, and
You're in the
that's
wrong room. You ain't
pressure.
learning. You can't learn nothing from that room. I want to be in rooms where I can constantly learn. That was a real one, man. Stories like that remind you that where you start doesn't define where you finish, man. Growth is real, change is possible, and purpose can come from places you least suspect it. I want to shout out Dr. Seleda Simmons for coming through and sharing her truth with us. Make sure you tap in, stay locked in with They Say Anything, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
TSA, they say anything.